What do you mean you haven't been using hashtags on Instagram? In this video, we are hitting some basics to help you improve your hashtag game on Instagram. Hey, if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Gary, and as always, I'm here with my partner, Annabelle.
We want to welcome you to our channel. We put out weekly videos to help you increase brand awareness, ultimately driving customers to know, like, and trust you.
Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support means everything to us. We know Instagram hashtags is an overbaked topic. If you've watched our last video about basic hashtag use on Twitter, you know that we're spending some time covering the basics of hashtag use across all the major platforms.
People in general understand the importance of using hashtags. However, as a business owner, what is their significance to your day-to-day operations? How can they help or hurt you as a business?
If you're using hashtags as part of your marketing strategy, let us know in the comments. Instagram is, you said last week, Twitter's the granddaddy of hashtagging for, what we're talking about. Instagram, I guess, would be the next biggest platform for hashtag use. And I know we're talking about the basics. There's tons of strategy out there for like tiering your hashtags and all other stuff. We're not talking about that today. We want to talk about the very basics of hashtag use on Instagram, in particular for businesses and brands. So Annabelle, what do you have for them today?
Well, the main thing that people need to understand is first what Instagram is. Okay, so everybody knows Instagram is a visual platform where people share pictures, images, and videos to try to engage their audience, whether it be customers, friends, family, whoever. Okay. The other thing that they need to understand is that hashtags work a little bit different in Instagram in the sense that they're only visible on public profiles. So if your profile is not public, you can hashtag all day. Nobody's going to see those posts, okay? And
so I don't mean to cut you off. So you mean a public profile as in like you can have a private profile on Instagram where it's just kind of like you're just saving content.
You're saving content and you're not showing it to anybody. Okay. And the only people that is going to be able to see things in a private profile is people that is already connected with you.
Oh, okay.
Or people that is already following you that you have allowed them to see what it is that you're posting. So when your profile is public, anyone can see all of your posts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. Public profiles, hashtags are visible and people can search them or follow them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when using a hashtag for Instagram, I know last week when we talked about the Twitter thing, you guys can go back and check out the video on how hashtags work with Twitter. But are there similarities or are there a lot of differences when using hashtags? For example, like numbers or special case characters?
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities, but one of the things that people need to keep in mind is the fact that spaces and special characters won't work on hashtags for Instagram, just like they don't work on Twitter either. So for the most part, in all of the platforms, that's a no-no for hashtags.
Okay, so no special case characters.
And no spaces.
And no spaces.
No spaces in between them.
Hashtags across all the platforms.
Because it breaks the sequence that is used by the algorithm to track the hashtags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So what about adding hashtags to your business posts? Can you add hashtags to like personal posts, or how does it all work?
Well, the way that it works on Instagram is you can add up to 30 hashtags per post on Instagram, whether it be a regular image or a little video clip that you post in your feed. And then you can add 10 hashtags on a story if you're doing a story. Now, interestingly enough, now the Reels, the TikTok assassin.
The TikTok assassin, Reels.
That's right.
I've been having so much fun with Reels.
Yeah, I know, a little bit too much fun.
The little filters,
right?
They're fun.
But now the Reels is coming to the picture. The same concept applies to Reels as well. It's kind of like a story, so there's also a 10 hashtag limit on that as well.
I got you. So for Reels, you get 10 hashtags. Just like stories, Instagram stories.
That's right.
So with the Instagram stories, I know there's a little bit of a strategy, maybe a little bit of a tactic here. I know we don't want to go diving too deep into it, but when you use your hashtag on a story, I've always been told and have seen some data that you want to use like a very broad hashtag in your stories because they're only there for 24 hours. So you want to try to get the chance to capture something coming through, basically. So when you use hashtags in an Instagram story, you don't want to be super finite like you do your actual business post.
That's absolutely correct. And one of the reasons why you want to do that is because you want to maximize the exposure of that story to the biggest audience that you can get. Now, the problem with that is also like on other things that you post, where the broader the hashtag, the less chances that you have that it's going to be seen. Now, in stories, it works a little bit different because it's like a constant feed. So it's a hit or miss. Nothing is guaranteed, but by using a broader hashtag that it goes out to a larger audience, you got a bigger chance that people is actually going to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're using hashtags on Instagram, what should we keep in mind when it comes to actually using hashtags? So I know in the last video you talked about Twitter, and there's like an etiquette, and there's certain things that you want to make sure that you are doing and aren't doing. What about the etiquette for hashtag use on Instagram?
Well, almost the same principles apply as far as etiquette. You know, I mean, there's difference between all the platforms, and Instagram is no different. You know, I mean, let's start with the basic Instagram post. You're allowed up to 2,200 characters of text. Okay. Now, that's a lot of text.
That is.
The problem is nobody that I know is probably going to go on long form on Instagram posting a big posting a big huge essay about their post.
Right.
The other thing to keep in mind is the captions, which is actually the text that is seen on your screen, whether you're on mobile or on the web. It gets cut off at about 125 characters. Now visually, that is 3 lines.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the first 3 lines of your caption are going to be shown. Now, once they go over 125 characters, that's when you start seeing the 3 little dots and more.
The see more.
The see more. Yeah. So you have to click on it to see the rest of the post. So the thing to keep in mind here is whatever your message is, or whatever it is that you want to drive as the main message for your post, it needs to be capturing the first 125 characters.
So it's sort of like when we talk to our clients and stuff about posting in that 125 characters, that's almost like, Instagram is a visual platform, but you have that 125 characters to sort of enhance what that visual is, and it's the hook basically.
There you go.
To try to get them to hit see more.
There you go. So it could be a hook, or it could be the call to action. But once again, you drove the point that Instagram is a visual platform. So once they see the picture, which can also include words, that's a combination of how you tailor your message to what is it that you want it to be the focus of the post. Is it going to be everything on the picture, or is it going to be the caption or the call to action that is going to draw your prospective leads or current customers to actually click on that see more?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when business owners or brands are using like hashtag etiquette and hashtag strategy, if you will, I know we've talked about this, that usually you want to go about 5 to 10, probably no more than 15 hashtags, because Instagram allows you to use 30 hashtags. And a lot of people kind of say like, oh, well, you got 30, just go ahead and use them. But ideally, what you're finding for 2020, the algorithm likes to play a little bit more with anywhere from 5 to 10 or 5 to 15.
5 to 10, 5 to 15 is appropriate.
Okay.
Now, ideally, you want to use between 3 to 5 hashtags if you're a brand, to be more specific about your message. Now, the other thing you got to keep in mind is this is not only about the hashtags, because you also want to include maybe a link, or you want to include some emojis and other things that are part of your post, because you got to be creative so you can draw that engagement and for people to interact with your post.
Right. And with the hashtag, last week you spoke about a brand hashtag. So, for example, hashtag Two14 Media. But then we'd want to be a little bit more specific, down to the city or down to that particular product or whatever, or line. So in Instagram, you still want to use some brand-specific hashtags, but then also other hashtags that enhance the post or are relevant to the post, right?
That's correct. Okay. Yeah. So you want to use the hashtag, whatever it is that you chose for your business or for your sector niche, for your products that you're trying to sell. But you also want to narrow it down towards a specific audience or towards a specific topic. And that's where you add different things to it. Like for us, it will be 214 Media Photography, 214 Media Marketing, or 214 Media Clarksville, Tennessee, and things like that. So we start narrowing down what it is that we want the hashtag to do for us. Now, one other thing that we need to mention is the fact that you don't want to go crazy with that narrowing down, because there's also etiquette for the length of the hashtag. So hashtags, ideally on all the platforms, but specifically in Instagram, shouldn't be longer than 24 characters. So if you have a hashtag that is actually
A sentence?
a sentence, exactly, that's not a hashtag.
Right.
That's exactly what that is. It's just a sentence with a
Right.
pound sign in front of it. So hashtags should be short, and the shorter that they are, the easier that they are for your audience to remember them and to actually engage with your content.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So earlier you had mentioned, throwing emojis in there, and I've been really trying to use a lot more emojis lately. And at first you think, oh man, all the kids just do this, but no, there's actually practical application to using emojis. And some of the things I think that we've discovered recently, and the power of emojis in increasing your engagement. So go over a little bit about emoji usage in Instagram as well as a hashtag.
Yes, it's really cool because one of the things that emojis do, because it's sort of like a picture, but it's not a picture. It's a picture character. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah.
So statistically, they increase engagement by 48% in Instagram.
Wow.
That's what the analytics are saying. 48% increase in engagement. Now, the one thing that you need to keep in mind is that you don't want to go crazy with the emojis.
Right.
They need to have a meaning within the context of your message. So, for example, if your core audience is photography, it will be good for you to throw emojis of cameras, you know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
Maybe people celebrating something, like a party favor or something like that, or a big old smile, or the emoji with the little hearts popping out of the eyes and things like that. Those are some examples of things that you can do, but whatever emoji you decide to use, it needs to be something that is tailored towards what the context of your message is trying to say.
Gotcha.
Like, don't throw a big emoji of a dynamite stick and
If it has nothing to do with
the
it,
next
yeah.
thing you're saying doesn't have anything to do with a dynamite stick. Exactly.
Gotcha.
So you have to match it and be careful what the emoji is actually visually indicating matches with what your text is trying to say.
So the rolling theme here is make it relevant.
There you go.
The hashtags need to
Yeah.
be relevant. Your emojis need to be relevant. Your content needs to be relevant. Everything needs to be relevant and provide value of some sort.
And not only that, it needs to be brand aligned.
Brand aligned,
Because
yeah,
if
that's a
it's
good
not
one.
if it's not brand aligned with what it is that you're trying to provide for your audience, then it's not going to engage.
I got you.
Yeah.
So one last thing before we finish up this hashtag beating up on Instagram. Now, is it better for you to put your hashtags in the actual post itself? So use like the ... and then put all your hashtags down toward the bottom in the actual post content itself? Or is it better to put your hashtags in the comments?
Well, that's actually a very good question. A lot of people, what they do is they either put 3 dots and then they put the hashtags in the original post, or they put the hashtags in the comments. The etiquette says that if you're gonna do that, it's okay to use the 3 dots. It's okay to put the hashtags in the comments. Now, problem is, in order to create the right engagement and for the algorithm to track it the right way, you need to be the first person commenting on that post with your hashtags. That's
Gotcha.
one thing that they say you need to do. You don't want to wait until 2-3 people has commented on your post to then add the hashtags as a comment. And that's one reason why I don't like to do that. What I actually do is, instead of 3 dots, I add 6 dots. That's my
Yeah,
personal
that's what I do
preference.
too, yeah.
But you only need really to add 3, because anything after the 3, more than likely you're going to be past the 3 lines, which is the 125 characters. So then it's going to get pushed down further enough to where it shows you the see more
That makes
link.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the part of the reason why I know I put the hashtags inside the content itself is because a lot of times we schedule things.
There you go.
And so when you schedule things, unless you're sitting there at the scheduled time, you're not able to answer that question and dump your hashtags in there. So if you're scheduling content, I would recommend to put it in the post copy itself.
Yes, and I
But
will
if-
agree with that too.
And if you're throwing it out there on your own, then sure, go ahead and, if you want to, be the first to comment on your Instagram post.
There you go.
All right, so it's pro tip time. We've got some pro tips for you, as usual. So Annabelle and I have been kind of chatting a little bit about Instagram and hashtag usage in Instagram. So we'll throw out a couple of pro tips. Annabelle, what do you got?
Well, one of the pro tips is that your caption, meaning the text that you're actually writing out for your post, needs to be between 138 and 150 characters. Once again, 138 is just a little bit over 125, and 150 is maybe like 2 more lines of text. Yes, you are allowed 2,200 characters, but you don't want to write that much content. Nobody's going to read it. And
not
if-
on the visual platform.
not
that
on a
Instagram
visual
is.
platform. And if that's the case, then you need to start linking to where that text is going to be, whether
Right.
it be on your website, because it could be a really good way for you to redirect traffic from your account to your website, to your blog, maybe to another social media account. That's another strategy.
But that URL, that redirect URL, needs to be in your bio.
Yes, that's one trick, because the only way that you can add, that's a very good thing that you just pointed out. The only way that you can add a link to a specific page or product or something like that is by changing the link on your bio. That can be changed. Problem is you got to change it every time
Every
that you
single
want
time.
that you want to
Yep.
distribute a new link.
Right.
Now, one way around that is if you have a business account, an Instagram business account, you can do an ad spend, do a campaign on Instagram, and then they do allow you to include links, and those links will show up as like a little button on your post that say, hey, click
you
here.
can click it.
And then once you click there, it takes you to the link, whatever link that you actually put up in that post.
That's the pay-to-play feature right
There
there.
you go. That's the pay-to-play
for
feature.
Instagram. If you want to be able to have people click immediately on the link, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, and the other way is to actually change the link in the bio.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
All right, so hashtag emoji.
Hashtag emoji.
This is like a new concept to me. I didn't even know about this until like a couple of days ago when we were researching for this video. But what exactly is hashtag and then an emoji?
Well, a hashtag and an emoji is actually a really clever strategy to draw engagement, but it's also a good way for you to, let's say, cross-reference business to business. Because think about it, if you're a burger joint, okay, and you put an emoji of a hamburger as a hashtag. What I mean by this is you put the hamburger emoji and put the pound sign in front of the hamburger emoji. What that does in Instagram is when you search for hashtag hamburger, it's going to show you all of the posts that actually have hashtag, meaning pound sign,
Right.
hamburger emoji.
Right.
And that's like a strategy. It's called emoji linking, where it allows you to show emojis as hashtags. As crazy as it sounds, you can try it for yourself, and you can see that it does work.
Right. So Instagram is the only platform that does this, right?
Instagram is the only platform right now that allows you to do that.
Okay.
We have tried it, we have tested it, and it only works
only
on
good
Instagram. Yep.
So so I have to put in hashtag and then the emoji hamburger, or can I put in hashtag and then type the word hamburger?
No, you need.
So that's two totally different things.
You need, if you put hashtag, meaning pound sign in the word, that's just a regular hashtag.
Okay.
If you're putting pound sign and the emoji, that's when it becomes an emoji link hashtag.
Okay.
Yep.
So is this like a secret backside language that Instagram has that like all burger joints can like get together and have like their own little emoji club or whatever?
You could call it that, but it's actually pretty clever if you think of it, because you could use it as a strategy for you to highlight not only your product, but at the same time people see other people's products or services. So it's kind of like a friendly competition, because then people is going to be able to see, oh, okay, this is what this burger joint has. This is what this other burger joint has.
Gotcha. Okay.
Problem is, you know this better than I do. If you do product photography,
right?
All burgers are created different, and especially when they're photographed, when you're doing food photography, everything is going to look perfect. But it never looks like it does in the picture.
And not edible, all right?
There you go, yeah.
Most food product photography, nothing is edible.
There you go.
Right. Well, it's edible, but you might not like it on the
for
back
us,
end.
exactly, yeah. I wouldn't want that glue and that watercoloring and all that other stuff.
So those are some excellent pro tips for Instagram and hashtag usage. Thanks, Animal. If you want to find out more tips, tricks, and strategy, check out our other videos.
And don't forget, if you like what you just saw, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And remember, it's not about us.
It's about our mission. And our mission is your success. Cheers.